Week 1 tomfuckery and all the bullshit to go with it. Welcome to the Leap, everyone. And have we got an episode for you? The dreaded Week 1 just conundrum.
What the?
Yeah, honestly, I swear the stuff that I see after this whole Week 1 bullshit is just insane. Well, that's what it is. Like,
yeah, it is.
You know,
insane.
you see false messiahs and everybody freaking out. I'll admit it, myself included. That Packer game was fucking ridiculous.
It was stupid.
That was by far one of the biggest shit shows I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
38-3. Who would have thought it? Not me.
Rodgers has his worst performance of his entire career. Like, what? Like, what is this? You know, we got Houston winning. We got Rodgers completely screwing the pooch. Everybody and their fucking mom thinking Jalen Hurts is going to be an MVP candidate. The Baltimore running back shit show. Like, we got a lot to talk about here today, ladies and sirs. Like, oh my gosh. The Bengals. The fucking Bengals. What?
Yep.
So, I guess to start things off here today, guys, starting off, like, honestly, the one shining note that I can see in this whole thing, Matthew Stafford.
Wow. Game.
Is it maybe too soon to say that this guy might be an MVP candidate this year?
It's possible.
I mean, like,
I thought that from the beginning. That's why I took him in one of my fantasy leagues.
I mean, I wasn't entirely sure what to think of it, because it's like, yeah, is it a great spot for him to go? Absolutely.
But is it going to translate?
Yeah, and then he goes out first week at SoFi and makes that Chicago defense his bitch. Like, he did. He straight up made them his bitch.
Yep.
And it was awesome. Like,
it was.
As a lifelong Packer fan, watching Stafford struggle with the Lions and then seeing him actually with a good team, it's just like, finally seeing this guy actually live up to the potential of it. I mean, it's also like looking at these potential early MVP picks. Like, there's a few guys that I see they're probably going to be in that conversation the entire time. You know, you see Stafford probably going to be in that conversation most of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Dak probably going to be in that conversation. He
opened a lot of people's eyes as to what he could do.
Hell, even last year before Game 5.
Well, yeah.
He was tearing it up.
Completely.
So, I mean, do I think he's going to... Like, I don't even think I know for sure who's going to win the MVP this year. Because it's too early to tell. You know, Mahomes, Allen, Stafford, Dak. You know, these guys are probably... Obviously, you know, Josh Allen and Mahomes are going to be at the top of everybody's list until the end of the season, unless one of them goes down.
Oh, completely.
You know, knock on wood.
Hopefully that's not Mahomes or Allen.
Yeah, I don't want to see any one of those guys go down. One, because you have Mahomes and I have Allen in our league. But also, I really like those guys as players, so it's like I want to see them do good.
Right.
But, I mean, it's crazy seeing how Week 1 frames everybody's minds going down the rest of the season, where I feel like a lot of people need to just kind of like, okay, let's just take a breath. It's week 1, guys.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, like...
It's like basically an extended preseason.
Right, like... Well, I mean, hell, you and I both lost in our fantasy leagues this week. In our league this week.
We rarely ever do that. So.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Well...
I'll admit the amount that you and I both lost by was...
Pretty substantial.
Pretty, you know, as my favorite coach would say, it's fucking embarrassing.
It is.
You know, we got 13 more weeks.
Yep.
And I'm not going to lie, man, looking at who our matchups and seeing who I was able to scoop up and everything, it's like, ooh, yeah, we coming. We coming. Like, it, just like how the Packers are going to be. They're coming.
Yeah.
You know, the Bills, they're coming. Like, you know.
Doesn't mean anything.
You know, well, I mean, heck, the Bills in that loss, like, they lost to a good team.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they straight up fucking screwed the pooch on that one. And if anybody who thinks that they're going to lose to Miami this week is out of their goddamn minds. Josh Allen is going to come swinging.
Oh yeah,
he
is.
He's going to go
he's
off.
He's going to bring Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley.
Yep.
And the running backs are not
Singletary's all right.
They're okay.
I mean,
they're middle of the road. I mean, I wouldn't say Zach Moss and Singletary are like great by any means.
Well, no, they're not.
They don't need to be. If that offense basically goes through Josh Allen and those wide receivers, hell, I mean, you don't really even need them other than just for a break every once in a while.
Well, yeah, just to kind of help sustain drives and just kind of
take the time off the clock.
Yeah, really, like you don't need it like that. I mean, and I know there's a lot of people, like there was definitely a lot of head scratchers here going into this first week. Like I said, Cincinnati winning.
Yeah,
I knew Cincinnati was going to be better, but I did not expect that. I didn't. No way in hell.
Houston winning. Who would have thought that? I mean, we were bashing Houston left and right last week.
See, that's one that I think is going to be a fluke this year.
Well, I think so too.
Like, that is one that I think people are going to be reading way too into, and it's like, guys, Jacksonville. Okay, is Jacksonville going to be a playoff contending team this year? No. But does that mean that we get to hold Houston way above them and Houston's going to be a contender? No, I think you're still at best with the way those guys are playing. They got
4 and
I'd say optimistically 9-8, 8-9. They're going to be middle of the road at best. Like that's just where I see it. Like they beat the shit out of the Jags, but
I mean. Yeah, it's week 1.
It's that week 1 thing, man. Like, don't do that to yourself. Like,
and don't drop Ezekiel Elliott. That would be stupid. I mean, he had a bad game, but he was up against a crazy front seven. I mean, the Buccaneers. That front seven is lethal.
That front seven in Tampa Bay. Well, that defense in general in Tampa Bay. It's just beefcake.
Yeah, their secondary's a little bit shaky, but...
Well, seeing Bunting go down
early... That was big.
That was big, because you lost one of your better secondary players in that.
Oh, yeah.
And that was such a freak accident, too, because it's like the other guy running into him and dislocating his elbow.
Yep.
Just crazy, man.
Oh, let's speak about injuries. There were a couple that were pretty substantial.
Huge injuries, man.
Yeah, and again... Raheem Mostert goes down 2 plays into the season. And it's a shame because he's a good running back. But I didn't take him in any of my fantasy leagues.
I feel bad for those who did.
Too injury prone.
There's always somebody. Don't you think that's crazy? Yeah. There's always somebody that was like a stud the year before. Last year it was McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah.
And Barkley. So that week 1, you never know what's going to end up happening, man.
And Fitzmagic is going to be put on hold for at least 6 to 8 weeks.
With that hip injury.
Yep.
Basically, from what I saw of it, they were saying this morning, I can't remember the actual term, but it's basically like a partial hip dislocation, where his hip, the hip bone actually like jammed in. So they have to like pull it out and let it heal. And I hate to say it, because while he's had a career on a bunch of different teams, this might be the end of Fitzmagic.
I think it could, because he's getting up there.
He's 38 years old. He's a 38-year-old quarterback who has never really been a quote-unquote franchise guy. Do you think that Rivera is going to sit back and wait for him? Like, they might bring him back for the end of the rest of this year, but, like, I don't see that being their long-term answer. Like,
I don't either. I think it's going to be, what's his name? I never pronounced his name.
Taylor Heineke.
Yeah,
he's probably... And I don't even think he's going to just be kind of like the serviceable guy just to get them through the year.
Yeah. But also, Jerry Jeudy. went down.
Yeah, that high ankle sprain. He's going to be... Well, that's not going to be... 5-6 weeks tops? Yeah. Like, that's tops. The way I'm understanding it, it's going to be only a few weeks that he's expected to be out. So, like, that one isn't terrible.
But I have him on one of my teams, and so I'm not happy about it.
Right.
So don't ask me about it. I'll just turn away and say, I don't know.
Yeah, we have no idea, man.
We don't know.
The week one clusterfuck is always something that everybody tries to prepare for, but you never can actually prepare for it. Because it's like, we're going to make it through, and then no.
Never trust the quote-unquote experts. Or us, really, if you don't want to. But if you do... Come back next week and we'll be here.
Yeah, we're always gonna be here, guys.
Yeah, so like we're just like here. So,
I mean,
if you have some time to kill it with us.
Really though, going into this whole week one thing, even more like. There's a couple of things that I saw that just irk the ever-loving fuck out of me. One we were talking about before, this whole Jalen Hurts thing.
Oh, yeah.
I am so sick of seeing these guys so deep on this dude's cock. Because he won one game. One game against a bottom 10 defense.
Bottom feeders.
Like, is this guy going to be good? Yes, he's a good quarterback. He's their starter.
Right.
But is he... Whenever I see anyone, whether it be one of these top-end analysts, whether these guys that are at the bottom feeders like us on, podcasts and TikTok and all that stuff, saying that this dude's going to be a top 5 QB, top 5 fantasy QB, it's laughable at best. It is. Because it's like... You guys don't realize, like, yes, you guys got a pretty decent offensive line. You got a fair defense. And you have some young receivers.
Right.
But you have a rookie coach. You have a quarterback who hasn't really shown anything at this level yet. Like,
go up against Buccaneers. Go up against any top defense.
This week is going to be...
We'll be able to talk about this.
Right. Like, I can't wait to talk about it next week after he faces the Niners this week.
Oh, yeah.
He's facing a top 10 defense this week. Let's see how he does there.
Yeah.
Like...
See how that offensive line holds up, too. I mean...
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it just... I don't see it. Like, he shelled out in front of a bad team, and now everybody thinks he's the next Patrick Mahomes. And it's like, no, he's not, guys. Like, he is not. He's not that person. He's a long ways from being that person. Like, just get off the dude's dick a little bit, and let's see what he can do first. Right. Like, for real, let's see what he can do. Like...
We're going to talk about another quarterback that actually did have a really good week. Derek Carr.
Yeah, actually. Going into this, man, we're going to be starting a new segment on this, at least through the week, calling it the underrated killer of the week. And the winner this week is Derek Carr. Derek Carr going out,
boom,
beating the Ravens.
Yeah, he did it.
Like...
Ravens have a good defense.
And it was an ugly game. And yes, Lamar did screw the pooch during that game, but the fact that Derek Carr kept fighting. Like, you look at that first half, he was atrocious. He was. He wasn't getting it done. Well, the Raiders in general weren't getting it done. And then they made those adjustments at halftime, and Carr just came out fucking swinging. And it was dope. It was by far one of the best comebacks. Right now, Game of the Year candidate. Definitely game of the week. Like, absolutely game of the week. But that is definitely a game of the year candidate in my book, because that was such a great matchup. Like, I love watching those frickin' body blow frickin' types of games where it's like, you don't know who's going to get it there at the end. It's all about who gets that knockout. And man, did Derek Carr ever get a knockout. Like, it was dope.
Speaking of good games, that Dallas-Tampa Bay game was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
One of the only games I got to watch this week, unfortunately. But I was really impressed with Dak.
Same.
Last year we were bashing Dak a little bit, and Dak proved us wrong yet again. So, or me anyway. I wasn't necessarily sold on him. But I do have to say one thing. Ezekiel Elliott. Oh my God. What the...
That was rough.
That was rough for me because I have one of my teams, and 3.9 points ain't going to get it done, my friend. At all.
I mean, we've been calling it, though. We've been calling on that, like, with Dak. It's like, not Dak, with Zeke.
Zeke.
Because Dak killed it. Like, the fact that this guy walked into enemy territory and went shot for shot with Brady.
Oh, exactly.
That, one, takes balls. But two, the fact that you literally were almost there. He was right on the cusp.
Oh, yeah.
If they could have controlled that clock just a touch better.
And if Zerline would have gotten the field goal, the first one. The second one was a 60-yarder, and, I mean, how are you going to do that?
I mean, yeah, dude, there's only a few guys in the entire
But the
league
extra
that can hit
point that he missed, too. Granted, he had a back injury.
He was coming back from back surgery. Didn't have a single kicking game in the preseason.
Right.
So
cut him some slack, I guess.
I mean, again, it's week one. Like,
it doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah, I think this Cowboys team is going to be damn good, and I think Dak is going to be damn good this year. Like I was saying, man, he's going to be an MVP candidate. And
I think they have a favorable matchup against the Chargers this week.
I think so too. Because if I'm not mistaken, they're going to LA, are they not? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be an easier matchup than
the
Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I mean, however, going and playing in SoFi is going to be pretty tough.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, though, is that they're a dome team, so I guess maybe they'll be able to acclimate to that a lot easier than they did to.
Right.
They did that Buccaneers game. I mean, I think that Dallas is probably going to win that game.
I think so too.
I could see it being a shootout between Herbert and Dak getting the W on that one. Yeah. I can see that one happening.
I picked the Cowboys over the Chargers.
Yeah, same. I think they're going to win that one. Moving into another topic that I see here that I saw this in this week. Wanted to talk about another game that we saw at SoFi this week. Matt Nagy needs to pull his head out of his ass. Plain and simple. He needs to pull his head out of his ass and start Justin Fields. I understand that he feels that he has a more veteran presence that may make some smarter decisions with the ball in his eyes with Andy Dalton. But here's the thing, though. While Andy Dalton finished the game playing a lot better, 2 turnovers in the first quarter, get off it, dude. Come on. Like, the one, I'll admit, you got straight up swallowed up and the ball just kind of popped out. But, like, come on, man. Like, you got a guy who even everybody on the Chicago team wants to see there. Let's put him in. Like, why?
Right, exactly. You put an investment into him.
Right.
I don't understand exactly why you're starting Andy Dalton over him. I was kind of surprised.
Well, by the way that I understood that from the Nagy conversation, the Nagy press conference, was it's basically just the experience. It's strictly the fact that he knows the system better. Justin's still trying to get acclimated to it, yada, yada, yada. He doesn't have to shrink the playbook, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, okay, cool, great. Well, I think it's been pretty abundantly proven at this point that the Ginger Rocket isn't getting it done anymore.
No.
Okay, sorry, not sorry. He's not going to get it done for you. And like what? You guys going to try to play for a high-end draft pick to get Justin Fields another weapon next year? If that's the case, just say it.
Right.
Don't beat around the fucking bush on us here. Just say straight up, we want Justin to sit for a year to learn the system, and then, we're not worried about winning this year. And then that way maybe everybody will back off a bit on it.
Right.
But Nagy ain't going to do that. So He's, well, I mean, unfortunately, a lot of these guys are kind of told, like, well, we can't say we're going to blow the season. And it's like, just say it.
Have the balls.
Have the balls to go ahead and say it, dude. Because also, like, while I never played at that level.
Me either.
But I did play, and I'm not going to lie, knowing how players are going to be, like, I'm pretty sure a big reason why they're not going to say that is because they don't want to tell the people on their team, well, we're not trying to win. So then people aren't going to want to come and play for it. But I think a lot of these guys will understand and be like, if this is your plan to not win now, but win a couple of years from now, then let's just go ahead and go with that.
Right.
But I feel like they don't want to take these guys who have who have this we want to win now kind of mentality and push them away to other teams. And I mean, to that I guess I can kind of understand, but to me it's like, you got a team that can contend for the North now. You got a top 10 defense. You got a top 10 running back. You got a top 20 receiver. You got a pretty fair O-line. And you got that nice, amazingly talented freaking rookie quarterback in Justin Fields.
Right.
Try to do something.
Exactly.
Like, let's see what this guy can do. I mean, if he goes out and he screws the pooch, so be it. He's a rookie. But, like, I would rather see Justin Fields go out there and actually get the experience and him screw the pooch and be a better quarterback for it.
Next year.
Yeah, and be better for it the next however many years you have him than having the Ginger Rocket sitting there throwing a bunch of picks to everybody and it doing nothing for your team.
Yep.
It's doing nothing for your organization at all.
No.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Come on!
Like, just the topic I had to point at. Start Justin Fields, damn it. Start him. Okay? Put him in that position. Let the Ginger Rocket hold the clipboard. Okay, because over the last few years, that's what he's shown he's good at.
Oh, yeah.
Like, sorry, not sorry. Like, just do it.
I mean, his time is done.
It is. Much. It's Andy Dalton's... I'm not even going to say his career's over, because, like, he could still be he's still definitely one of the...
He's a good backup.
He would be a great backup, especially to a guy like Justin Fields. Like, he does have the experience and has played in the league enough to where he can help Justin Fields be better.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I think that his role should be in a mentor-type role as that backup for Justin, instead of him just going out there and screwing the pooch. Because let's say he goes out there and he throws in 30 interceptions this year. You really think that any young quarterback is going to want to sit back and listen to a guy, no matter how many years he's played, who played like that the year before?
Oh, yeah.
I know I sure as shit wouldn't.
Know. Exactly.
Like, so...
There's that.
There's that. That... It's just typical of the Bears, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like I say, dude, Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die.
Exactly.
And...
I mean, think about it. How many top 10 quarterbacks in any season have the Bears had in years?
Shit, in the last 20, I think Jay Cutler got it once or twice.
Right. But that was about it.
That was it.
Yeah.
You didn't have it with Rex Grossman. You didn't have it with Kyle Orton. You didn't have it with Jay Cutler.
Cade McNown? Didn't have it with Cade.
Who? Like, who are you talking about? Like, yeah, that's how minuscule that guy was. Like, it's just...
Well, they had Cordell Stewart.
Cool. Cordell Stewart.
The old slash and burn.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. I mean, accurate though, but yeah. So, before we dive into the fantasy stuff, I guess we should probably bring up the topic that I'm not going to lie, I've been kind of dreading bringing up into this podcast, this Packers loss. And it was not Mr. Rogers' neighborhood this week. It wasn't. Like, the whole team played bad. It did. Like, defense, special teams. Like, well, not even necessarily special teams, because Crosby at least made a field goal. He only had the one attempt, but, like, you know, he made his shot there. But this game was fucking embarrassing, dude. Like, like LaFleur said, the Saints went out there and straight up embarrassed them.
Yeah, and I mean, who would have thought that? Who would have thought the Saints would have beat the Packers?
Well,
I mean, without Michael Thomas,
I could have seen the Saints beating us, like, because they have a talented enough team to where if Winston and Rodgers were to say go like how Brady and Dak did this week,
right,
or how Lamar and freaking Carr did, they go shot for shot, and somehow maybe Jameis got that last drive and was able to get one. You see, it would have irked me, but it wouldn't have irked me as badly as seeing what I saw out there. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't necessarily want to say that I feel like Rodgers was trying to blow that game. I'll admit it initially, yes. I immediately saw that. And part of me kind of still feels that way because I saw that sly little smirk on his face on the sidelines and in the press conference saying, oh, it's only one game. No. After what you did to us this whole offseason, you held the franchise, you held the fan base, you held everybody hostage.
True.
With your prima donna bullshit. And I'll admit, your gripes were legitimate.
Oh, yeah,
His
totally.
gripes were 110% legitimate. But the way in which he handled that was awful. And then you show up and you do that. Like, to me, that's not acceptable. I don't care if you're a 3-time MVP. I don't care if you won us a Super Bowl. I don't care. That was 10 fucking years ago. 11 years ago now. You don't hold us hostage and then go and throw a fucking... You go and you throw...
And not act like you even care.
Yeah, he does. He, like, to me in that press conference, Aaron looked like he did not give a shit. He looked like he didn't care.
That's
like
just
enough
wrong.
of the RELAX attitude. We've been dealing with that forever to watch you guys lose.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, you guys haven't even made it to the show since 2010. I'm done relaxing. Okay? This is supposed to be your last dance. Do something.
Right, exactly.
Do it. Like, losing game one is one thing. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, you lose a game as long as you go out there and fight. But, like, when I saw that they just straight up pulled Rodgers there in the fourth quarter to put Jordan Love in, embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolute goddamn joke.
Oh,
like,
I agree.
this is supposed to be the team that's supposed to be winning a Super Bowl this year? I don't see it.
Not like that. No.
Not like that. You are not going to beat Tom Brady and the Bucks by having that piss poor of an attitude.
Right.
It's not going to happen. Okay? Yeah. I hate Tom Brady, but the guy knows how to win.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, like, you think you're going to be able to beat him with that type of attitude? With you're, like, to me, it feels like Rodgers is already packing his bags and checking his brochures to see where he's going to go next.
Yeah, and if that's the case, personally, I think trade him. See what you can get for him.
Right, like with freaking not Schefter, Peter Schrager suggested they showed that open trade that Denver is offering right now.
That's a huge trade.
It's a huge trade.
I would do it in a minute. If this is the way he's going to play, get rid of him.
I'll give it a couple of more weeks, but if this is the way that that's going to be, Brian, LaFleur, all you guys, I know you don't listen to us and or watch our show, but for the love of God, if Rodgers continues to screw the pooch that much, take that trade. Because that trade, just saying, like for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, Teddy Bridgewater, Bradley Chubb, KJ Hamler, and the next 3 years of first-round picks from Denver. Yes, please. Yeah. You give us a quarterback who is serviceable. We don't have to worry about Jordan Love right now. We can let him develop. We get a interior edge. We get an edge rusher that we desperately need. We add a little bit of more depth to our receiving core, which, I mean, KJ Hamler's not an elite wide receiver, but he adds an extra body in the room. And then we have 3 additional first-round picks to go and find that next guy.
Right.
If we want
And if
to.
it isn't Jordan Love, then we have the ability.
We have the draft capital.
Yeah, we have the ability to get him with another first-round draft pick.
Well, yeah, we can get that next guy, or we could potentially trade for another person.
Right.
Like, if you're going to let Aaron Rodgers walk, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say it right now. I know exactly who I want to see come to Green Bay.
Who?
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
They're wasting his career in Seattle anyway.
Oh, they are.
Let him come over to the Pack. Let him have that little bit of a homecoming that every single Packer fan, low-key, every single Wisconsin sports fan, low-key wants.
Yep.
Okay? Because I don't know a single Wisconsin fan who hates Russell Wilson, even if they may hate the Seahawks. They don't hate Russell Wilson because the guy can ball.
Yeah, I don't hate the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks. But
I don't like the Seahawks. Sorry.
Why don't you like the Seahawks?
Well, let's see. What part do I have to bring up here? Okay. Do I want to bring up the part where freaking, what was his fucking name? The one coach that we had for a while.
Holmgren.
Yeah, that fucking Holmgren fucking making us look fucking embarrassed, or Pete Carroll making us look embarrassed. You know, those NFC championships.
Yeah. I don't really hate
it's a rivalry to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Yeah. It's like, to me, I look at the Seahawks kind of how, like, most people look at, like, the Cowboys, or people look at the Steelers. You know, they fucking hate them because they're just that good.
But then again, one of the main reasons why I'm a Seahawks, not fan, but I like the Seahawks, Steve Largent. Steve Largent.
He was a good...
He is, like, one of my heroes, man. I love Steve Largent. That guy was great. But, I mean, they've got good receivers. Metcalf's a good receiver, and Tyler Lockett.
They have a really good receiving core, but like I was saying before, dude, I think the Legion of Boom is dying.
Yeah,
like
I think you're right.
The Legion, yeah,
there's cracks in it anyway.
Yeah, they're at the end of their... I feel like the Legion of Boom is at the end of its shelf life.
Well, there aren't very many left, are there, from the original?
The only one who I think is there from the original is Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, everybody else has kind of moved on or retired, or they're playing for other teams, or they put other pieces in. And it's not to say the Seahawks defense isn't good, because they are, but I don't think that they're not going to be a top 10 defense like they used to be. No. I just don't see it. I see the Seahawks being on the decline. Wilson is still in his prime.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you let Rodgers go ahead and walk. We make a trade for Russell Wilson. Shit. Yeah. Hell, since Devontae's frickin' leaving, see if we can scoop up Metcalf or Lockett as well.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
See if you can bring those two guys on over. We keep the rest of that core group. We secure that spot for a little while, and then we're still a contender.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, we don't have... Nobody has to worry about us not being the top of the North anymore. We don't have to worry about going from literally... Because, like, honestly, at this point, Rodgers and Devontae leaving next year, we're going to be the bottom of the North.
Probably. Either that, well, there's still the Lions.
I mean,
the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions are... What's this now? Well, you're going to have to figure that one out, homie. You need to go on there more than once. Sorry, Robert was messaging me about the dog. And but yeah, I don't see it. I just don't see it, man. Like, I don't see the Packers winning a Super Bowl this year. I know everybody's on this whole throwing the Last Dance comparison onto Rodgers. It's not going to go the way everybody thinks it is. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it seem like I'm being a Debbie Downer on it. I'm just being a realist. Like, the Bucks are too good.
Yeah.
The Rams are too good. The Cowboys are on the uptake. We have enough to where we can get there.
Right.
And
can we sustain? Can we go further?
They need to take that next step. They just need to.
Exactly. Because if you don't, then you might as well just chuck it and start over.
You see, that's the thing with me, is it's like, if I see that Rodgers puts out the same effort that he did in that last game, And that continues to go, whether they win or they lose, and Rodgers is just throwing freaking donkeys out there. Trade him.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly, he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
I get what you can out of him now, while we still can.
I was kind of shocked they didn't trade him. I mean, if he really didn't want to play for us, why hang on to a guy that doesn't want to be there? That didn't make any sense to me at all.
You see, to me, I look at it kind of like how the whole Houston situation with Deshaun. They're trying to get, to me, okay, I feel like it's possibly like they feel they can get more, or they feel that they...
Trying to make a point?
Possibly. I'm looking at it more as they're trying to say, hey, you signed an obligation to us. You're going to play this stuff. You're going to play your time out with us, win or lose, and then go from there. Which, if that's what Brian is trying to do, stop it.
Well, yeah.
You're doing nothing to benefit the team and or the organization.
Yeah. Adapt. Don't just like be an ostrich with your head in the sand thinking that it's all going to work out. It's not.
That's not how it works, dude.
No, I just don't get that whole thing. I mean, I would have traded him myself, but then again, I'm not the president of an organization.
When it came to the whole offseason thing of them trying to keep him there and trying to talk him into staying, I could understand that point to a degree. But only, like, at a certain point, like, when it was getting closer and closer to training camp, and they still kind of didn't necessarily have anything done at that point. Me, if I was sitting in that position, I'd be like, okay, well, our season's started. We need to know, and we need to know now.
Right.
What's happening
Don't pull a Brett Favre.
Yeah, don't, like... like I said, he literally held the organization and fan base hostage.
Like Brett Favre.
Like Brett Favre. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is I think when it came to Brett Favre there close to the end, he at least was willing to say whether or not before preseason, hey, I'm going to come back.
Right.
Like, for him, it would be, I'm not sure. I'm going to take a couple of months and kind of figure it out. And then normally it would be, like, right around draft time, I noticed Favre would be like, we'll come back for another year. And that's fine.
But don't wait until, like, training camp starts to... I mean, because...
Yeah, no, you got the whole Kentucky Derby freaking debacle and all this other bullshit. Like, you have all this stuff going on with Rodgers. It was... It's just... Yeah, and the Jeopardy bullshit. Like, it's so much. Just... Rodgers...
If you want to be Hollywood, go to Hollywood. Be that guy.
Be that guy.
If you want to stay in Green Bay, be one of us. Or don't be one of us and go somewhere else. We don't care. You know?
I just want to know what happened in the, 5 or 6 years when Rodgers signed that one extension where he said, I want to finish my career in Green Bay. I want to know what happened from that point up to now, or up to the point when he got to that decision. Because I know some of the stuff, because he said, like, the whole... not retaining players, and that was, like, all the gripes that he had, which I felt legitimate, but, like, to me, I feel like there was something else there. Yeah. Something else made him go from, I want to be this guy, to, I'm better than you. I'm too good for this team. I'm too good for its fans. I'm too good for blah, 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 blah. I want to know what made him do that. I want to know what made that click.
Yeah.
What switched with him? Like,
do you think it was the whole Tom Brady going to the Bucks and getting a Super Bowl thing?
I mean, possibly. That might have had a part to play in it. I don't know. Like, that's the question that I want to have answered. Like, that's the one where I want to go into Rodgers' brain and be like, what were you thinking? What made you feel that this was the okay action to take? Because no matter what, unless you get a Super Bowl this year, the Packers fans are going to hate you forever.
Right, exactly. No,
you're going to go from being our like the literal QB messiah of the Packers to being probably one of the most. You're going to go from being considered the next Bart Starr to being hated more than Greg Jennings in the span of a season because you don't know what the fuck it is you're doing. If he wins the Super Bowl and he leaves kindly and rides off into the sunset to go do something else,
fine.
He'll have the respect of the organization and the fan base. But he doesn't. You don't win. Like, honestly, Rogers, you don't win the Super Bowl this year. You are going to have every single Packer fan hate you for the rest of forever.
I think
doing all the stuff that you did there. Like, when it's all gonna be for nothing.
Then what's the point?
What's going to be the point? You're going to literally... You're never, ever, ever going to be able to show your face, really, in Green Bay ever again.
No, exactly.
Like,
I mean...
I hope it's going to be worth it.
And especially if you play it like you did last week, because that was atrocious.
Yeah, you keep doing that, and then...
Everybody's going to hate you.
Most of us already... Like, I'm not going to lie, dude. I already kind of starting to. I'm
irritated.
I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, why do this shit?
I know exactly. Why hold a gun to our heads? You know, because we would have done anything for you until you pulled this shit.
Right.
Pretty much.
Like, I understand that Ted Thompson was an absolutely horrible GM.
Oh God, he was.
But, you know,
Mike McCarthy was not that great of a coach either. I think they won the Super Bowl in spite of Mike McCarthy, to be quite honest.
They just had too good of a team.
Oh yeah.
You know, they were not going to be denied. Like,
I heard on Thursday, they called Mike McCarthy a offensive genius, and I almost spit my tea out.
No, he's not. Okay.
Yeah.
He is. McCarthy is a good coach. Like, I'm not going to say he's a bad coach by any means.
But he's not a great coach, I don't think.
Whenever, like, okay, this is going to go to that topic we were talking about last night. McCarthy's not a good coach. What? Because the Cowboys have a really good offense right now? That's not because of Mike McCarthy.
No.
That's because of Kellen Moore.
Yep.
Okay? Kellen Moore is one of the best offensive minds in our league right now. The guy is crazy good, and I can't wait to see what he does as a head coach, because it's gonna happen.
Yep.
He's gonna be a head coach at some point, and he's probably gonna end up winning a ring.
True.
Or a couple. I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, with that offense, if they can just get it done a little bit more on defense, hell, I think the Cowboys are going to be a good team. I mean, they're not going to be the joke they were last year.
No, I think Dallas is a much improved team. Them getting Micah Parsons, Parsons and Van Der Esch are probably going to be one of the best linebacking duos in the league this year, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
I'll admit it. Brady made Parsons look pretty foolish in week 1, but he likes picking on rookie players.
Oh, yeah.
Any experienced quarterback is they're gonna see, oh hey, I got a rookie here. Let's see how I can fuck with him. And then they do it. He's got to get that green taken off of him a little bit.
Right.
But
exactly. But eventually he's going to be quite good.
Oh yeah, I think he's going to be one of the best linebackers in the league, in my opinion.
Right. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. We don't want to focus on the Packers here too much. So, let's go ahead.
Come on, Lions!
Yeah. Let's go ahead and dive into the start and bench portion of the podcast.
Start and bench.
Because, so this week isn't going to necessarily be the clusterfuck that I think week 1 was.
It's going to be tough, though.
There are a lot of tough matchups, but there are some key matchups that I think are going to be really big at certain positions. Like, there's a few matchups here that are going to be really nice. Like, we got that Chicago-Cincinnati matchup, the Browns facing Houston.
Houston, we have a problem. Yeah. I wanted to do that last week, but I completely screwed it and forgot about it.
I mean, yeah. Bucks and the Niners, not Bucks and the Niners, the Bucks and the Falcons, Eagles versus the Niners. Like, those are going to be a lot of the matchups that I feel are going to be the key focus. Diving into running backs, I got 4 guys here that I think are going to absolutely go off these matchups. David Montgomery.
Oh, yeah.
Against that Cincinnati defense. Oh, yeah. Don't take what Cincinnati did in week 1 as scripture here, guys. That defense is still garbage. Okay? Yeah. Their offense is good, but that defense is still garbage. They won 1 game against a good team, okay? It's like that whole thing with the Eagles, except Cincinnati actually beat a good team.
Right.
Don't read too much into it, okay? Cincinnati is not going to be that good. Their defense is not that good.
No.
And the Bears are going to come out. I think that because of Andy Dalton, the Montgomery is going to be getting a lot of touches.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
He's like a safety net.
He really is. He's like the safety net of that offense. And it's a great guy to pick up for fantasy. I mean, if you got him sitting on your... Well, I don't think very many people would have David Montgomery sitting on their bench.
Why
if you do...
You got started.
Who else do you got?
Yeah.
Do you got McCaffrey and Derrick Henry? Like, what do you got? Are you playing in a 4-man league? Like, what the fuck is this? Not to go off topic, but I saw a thing... one of these things on TikTok, I see a lot of people doing this whole, hey, rate my lineup, and you saw this guy, he had Christian McCaffrey, it had Jared Allen, Devontae Adams, I think he had, like, Antonio Gibson, he had the Bucks defense, like, he had all of these, like, top 1-2 guys, and, like, everybody that was seeing that, they're like, yeah, congrats winning your 2 to 4-man league this year. Like, are you kidding me? Is that even a challenge?
No,
and it's like... No. I just see that. I'm just like, dude, how? Like, and I remember, I think my comment literally was, it's like, yeah, congrats on creating your ghost league and force trading every single major big-time player over to your team this year. Excellent work. Excellent work.
Kudos, man.
Yeah, good job. But yeah, no, back to stay on target. The other lineups that I had, matchups I have here, I got Antonio Gibson going against the Giants.
Yay!
They're going to be at home. I know the Fitzmagic thing is going to be a big part of why Gibson's going to get a lot of touches. You know, they're going to try to shorten, I wouldn't say shorten the playbook for Heineke, but I think they're going to be trying to go through the running game to take the pressure off of him.
Thank God. He only got me 11 points last week. Only 11. Come on, Antonio. You're my go-to running back. I need your help.
We need it. A guy that I'm going to needs it from this week, and who's my starting running back, Nick Chubb against Houston. Again, this is another one of those matchups. Don't read into Houston winning against the Jags. Do they have a serviceable team? Yes, but if you think that Houston is going to go into the dog pound after the Browns lost to the Chiefs, and you think they're gonna no. You don't
know anything about sports.
That ain't happening, guys. Okay,
because he's Chubbalicious, baby. All right,
Chubb, Hunt, Baker, Landry, all these guys. Yeah. That Browns team is coming out for blood.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Browns defense is going to make the Houston offense very uncomfortable very early.
Oh, yeah.
And Chubb, I mean...
He's great.
He's a great running back, dude. Oh, yeah. He is going to have a great game against this Houston defense. And, because I was looking at it, the only real guy that I saw that Houston has on their defense is Christian Kirksey.
Who we used to have.
Yeah, who the Packers used to have. Really good running back. Really good run-stopping linebacker is what I was trying to say. Run-stopping linebacker. That's his thing. And he's really going to be the only guy that I feel that's going to be able to go up against Chubb and actually meet him and stop him. But I don't see that happening. With that Browns offensive line and everything, I don't see it.
And Kirksey will probably only play for about 5-6 games or 7 games, and then he'll get hurt like he normally does.
I wouldn't be shocked at that. Yeah. I don't want to jinx him, but that's a possibility.
Well, I mean, actually, maybe it would be an opposite jinx.
Possibly. Didn't even think about it like that. Like, at all. I was like, well, maybe. The last running back that I have that's a sure start, Alvin Kamara against Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, now Carolina is a much improved team, but I feel like, especially doing an away game, I think Jameis is going to be moving through Kamara.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're kind of still trying to figure out that receiving core a little bit. Kamara is that one just staple shining star that they got right there, and I think that's going to be the key thing for them.
A lot of people are probably wondering who is even on the wideouts for the Saints. I mean, besides, what was the name? Callaway?
Yeah, Callaway is there.
Some Smith guy, I don't know who he is.
It's a bunch of young guys and
Smith
guys that don't
something.
normally, like there's not a whole heck of a lot there. But, that one rookie they had, was it a tight end or a receiver? I don't know. They had one guy that was a newer guy to their team who caught...
Trotman?
Yeah, I think the guy who caught 2 touchdowns from Jameis this last week. That kid looks pretty freaking good. I can't remember his name. I didn't have it written down, but he looked really solid. Like, he was fighting for balls. It looks like he's going to probably be a favorite target for Jameis this year.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wish I had his name written down.
But I can't remember it either.
The 2 guys that I have to bench this week, and there's only 2, at least for me, that I see that are like, don't play these guys. They're not going to have good games. The one guy I have is going to be Mike Davis against Tampa Bay.
Ugh.
They're going into Tampa Bay. Atlanta's not good. You know, Mike Davis is going to get a lot of touches, but the boom or bust ratio on this, because it's like if they go against Davis like they went against Zeke, it ain't gonna get it done.
Zeke's better than Mike
Zeke
Davis.
is better than Mike Davis, so I don't see it.
Me either.
I just don't. I mean, Dallas has a much better team than Atlanta does, and Zeke was only held to 33 yards. So, what are you going to do on that one, man? I'd say keep him on your bench. Maybe he might do good, but the chance is just too much. The last guy I got for benching, and I know people are sold on this guy too. I don't get it. Miles Sanders against Niners.
Yeah.
You know, Philly's at home. Great. Cool. Congratulations. That doesn't mean they're going to do good, okay? The Niners are going to go in there and they're going to fuck those guys up.
Oh, yeah. Completely.
And Miles Sanders are going to make...
I have a question. I just thought of this. With the 17-week season, how is it that they're doing home games and away games? Because it's an uneven number.
I guess the way they're going to do it, I guess the best way to do it, at least the way I would hope that they would do this, would, like rotating seasons. You have more away games one year, more home games the next year, I guess.
I just thought of that. I'm like, I really never even thought about it before.
You know, until you brought that up, I didn't even think of it. Like, I guess that would be the best way that they would do that. But, I mean...
Weird. That's very strange.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean...
I think that's the only way you could do it fairly, you know.
That would be the only way you can do it fairly. Like, you know, I guess unless you're Tom Brady.
So if you know the answer to this question...
Yeah, by all means.
Please let us know.
Right. So moving into the position that I think is going to probably be the best position to throw some of these guys in here, wide receivers this week. I only have one bench, and that's Juju.
Yep.
And it's mainly because of the fact that I am not sold on Juju. I'm not. Okay?
It's bad juju to start Juju.
He's more worried about making TikToks than he is catching the football, and Chase Claypool is a much better receiver. He's going to be that number one before the season.
I'm a much better dancer.
I am not, because fatty don't dance. Okay? I can do a little shimmy, but that's about the extent of it.
I like it.
But going into receivers here, the one guy I have at the beginning that, and I know that this is a tough matchup, But I think strictly because of the amount of targets he's going to get is going to be big, is going to be Jamar Chase for Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
He is Burrow's number one target. He is the guy that Burrow looks for. And he's going to be running around for his life again because, no offensive line. Going up against the top-end pass rush. He's going to be looking for Jamar.
Oh, yeah.
And the kid's really talented. He's going to show that he can do it. And I think that he's going to have, out of all those guys in Cincinnati, Jamar, I think, is going to be the one that's going to end with the most.
I have him starting this week.
Yeah, I saw that you have him starting this week. And I was part of the thing.
I picked him up off of waivers.
I picked up the one main flex guy to look for, Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah,
I picked him up. He's going to be with Mozart out. He's going to be the starting running back in San Francisco now. Now I have him setting as a flex. I didn't move him up to that RB1, RB2 thing because he's got to still kind of show that he can do that.
Right.
But the guy's going to get touches.
Oh, completely.
He's going up against a mediocre defense with one of the best offensive lines in football. They're setting him up for success. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't.
And the Trey Sermon, conversation's still months down the way, I think.
Yeah, I don't see Trey Sermon. I figure at least 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, that's
got this guy that you can rely on. Okay, good offense that's got a guy that nobody really knows about. Scoop him. I don't know, mind you, I know anybody from our league who's watching. Sorry, not sorry. I already scooped him up. But anybody who's looking in your leagues this week, he's not going to last long.
Oh, no.
Okay. Even if you
probably one round of people going through, you're not going to get him in the
This is the 1 week you got to scoop up this guy, okay? If you have not, and he's still sitting there in your waiver wire, grab him now. Okay, even if you have a really good running back core and you got an opportunity to scoop up this guy, for the next 6 to 8 weeks, this dude is going to be one of the better running backs in the league.
I did in my little league.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy that's going to get a lot of production. And one of the crazy things about it is that he's the weaker opponents on San Francisco's schedule is going to be during this guy's height.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be the big part of it is that he's going to be facing bad defense. So, might as well go ahead and get those points out of this dude now while you still can.
Right, and then down the line you can probably find another running back who will actually have the same thing.
Well, yeah, and if it turns out this whole Trey Sermon thing doesn't go the way that everybody... I don't know. It's so up and down. There's so much in the air with it.
It's kind of like the Michael Carter conversation, I think.
See, I don't think... Now really looking at that, I feel like we have at least 6 weeks before we figure out who the number one running back in that New York room is going to be.
Oh, I know.
In my opinion.
But
that Jets team is so up and down. There's only a couple of spots that are okay, these are the guy.
Crowder and Corey Davis.
Yeah, and then you got your quarterback figured out. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you guys really got figured out. Outside of that, it's kind of a toss-up. Just kind of throw a bunch of chips on the floor, whichever one ends up in the circles, who you throw in. But back to wide receivers here. I had Jamar Chase there against Chicago. Cooper Kupp against Indianapolis.
Cooper Kupp.
Now, Cooper is clearly Stafford's favorite target.
Oh, yeah.
And this Lions team is no fucking joke. These guys are really good. And Indianapolis is good, but I think that he's going to go off.
Yeah. And I mean, no, that's not saying Robert Woods isn't a good wide receiver. He's a
great wide receiver.
But I see the same thing you do, that Cooper Kupp is probably going to get more receptions than Robert Woods will.
I feel he is. I feel that Cooper Kupp has moved it up to a wide receiver 2, potential wide receiver 1, whereas Robert Woods is still in that flex category. He's a solid guy. He's going to get targets. He's going to get touchdowns. He's going to have a good year.
And he's going to get runs, too.
Yeah, and he
does that, too.
Yeah, he's a great flex guy, but Cooper Kupp to me is that number 1. He's that guy that Stafford's going to be going to more often than not. I mean, hell, that Bears game was a prime example of it, man. When Cooper gets open, Stafford is putting the ball in his hands. period. So that's a matchup to be looking for. Like, if you guys got Cooper Kupp, take him.
Take him.
Put him in. Like, he's gonna do great things for you this year. Third guy I got is Jarvis Landry against Houston. This is literally just good offense versus bad defense matchup. I'm not sold on OBJ. I know you're not either. Jarvis Landry, in my opinion, is that clear number one. It doesn't, and just like with Robert Woods, it doesn't matter whether he's catching the ball or he's running the ball. He's got a chance to score.
And OBJ may not even play. I mean,
right? Like, he didn't play week one.
Yeah.
He might not play this week. You know, who knows when he's gonna probably come out? And then after he comes out, who's to say how long he's gonna stay in?
Right. Exactly. I know somebody that had him in there in week one in their fantasy league, and he didn't play.
Right, like he was projected to not even come close to starting for the next couple of weeks. So, like, to me, when I saw people scooping him up, it's like, man, you guys are taking one hell of a big risk.
That's a big risk. He's been so injury prone the last 2-3 years.
Right. Well, hell, the last 2 years he hasn't finished more than 9 games. He has a 9-game average.
Jeez.
Finish on the season.
That's a Raheem Mostert.
Yeah,
numbers.
like that's not good. Like,
No.
and no matter, even with the production you might get out of those 9 games, like, let's say in those 9 games he's averaging 100 yards and he's getting a touchdown. He's got double-digit targets. Like, cool. And then when he drops before playoff time, what are you going to do about your number one receiver?
Yeah,
you're boned.
Yeah, you're boned.
You know, so that's why I say dump OBJ, grab Jarvis Landry, okay?
And always look, I think, right before game time to make sure someone's going to play, because if they're not going to play, then you're not going to get any points. So you might as well look.
Right,
It
like
only takes a couple seconds. Come on, people.
Right, it doesn't take that long. Like, to me, that's just laziness.
I know. I don't understand it.
lazy.
If you're making a commitment to play fantasy football, go all out.
Right, like, I just...
Because it's not fun when you go up against a team that has 4 players on a bye week. That's not challenging. I mean, I could do that in my sleep, win on.
Right, like, you just feel like, okay, well, hell, I can just keep my starting lineup. Now I even put my best players in there because they're probably still going to win.
Check your bye weeks, people. Get them out of there if they have a bye week. Seriously.
Yeah,
Not that hard. Not that hard at all.
And it's a shame that we have to say these things.
Yeah,
Because I know that there's
exactly.
people, like, because I know there's times when, like, people are probably gonna be listening. It's like, why are you saying this stuff? This is fantasy football 101. Yeah, that's what you would think. But there's always somebody. There's always that one guy. And
or maybe even 2 guys.
Yeah, sometimes there's a couple of them who just don't do their shit.
And it makes it, like, bad for everybody else because, then it's not challenging. I mean, you might as well just, like, push the button and be like, okay, I get a win. Boo!
Right, like, I don't give a shit if your team is just garbage. Meat. Okay, yeah, you guys could be straight dogging it, freaking 0-10.
Still do it.
Still do it.
Yeah.
Still do it. I don't care if you're missing your chance at the playoffs, because all you're doing by doing that sort of thing is literally screwing everybody else who's in that league over.
Exactly, especially the people that are on the cusp of the playoff.
Yeah, you have those. You're giving a win to a bad player who ends up making the playoffs and not doing anything, while a guy who actually deserves to be in the playoffs loses because of that point differential, because you don't want to take the time to take 5 goddamn minutes.
I think people would respect people that had a bad year if they do this, because, I mean, if you don't, it just makes you look like a sore loser.
And
really.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You're just being a sore loser.
I mean, I understand if you got something going on that's like an emergency and shit for like a week, let it slide, but, try to at least. Come on.
Well, like, okay, unless there's like a literal, like, I don't know, like, to me, I feel like, I know he listens to us. I know he's going to get mad at me about this, but freaking Matt, when he was in our league, what was it, year 2, he never wanted to set his lineup, and at a certain point, I literally told him, fine, let me do it. Because he wasn't winning any games. I literally was like, give me your fucking phone, I'll do it. He's like, well, I'm doing something. I'm like, I don't give a shit then. Give me your login. I'm like, I'm tired of you not putting your lineup in. Like, if you're not feeling it, that's fine. But all you have to do is literally hit that fucking, just throw a couple of dudes in there, swap it out, and then move on.
Yeah, it takes 2 seconds.
Like, it takes all the 5 minutes to do if you're half-assing it.
Oh, right.
You know, you just put a couple guys, be like, oh, these guys are starting this week. Cool. Throw them in and then move on. But, like, when you're just straight up not doing that and just being lazy about it, just stop it. Just stop it.
Exactly.
Like, if that's going to be the case, then don't play. Don't play. Because
you're doing us a favor if you don't play.
Yeah, you're doing.
We want to actually do it. You know, we want competition. That's why I think our league this year is going to be a really good year, because we've got some good players.
Every single one of the guys in our league is competitors. So, like, that's nice considering those first couple of years, man.
God.
Where guys just weren't doing anything. And now it's like, okay, we actually got guys that are willing to not only set their lineups up, but it's like every single week. I was looking through the schedules, man. I don't have a single easy week.
No, I don't either.
Like, at all. Like, even the weeks that I'm projected to win, quote unquote, big, because I know this week I'm projected to win by, like, I think it's like 10 points. I don't see that as an easy win, because I look at who John has, and I'm like, oh boy, this could go really good,
he's got a good
really,
team.
really bad.
There's a lot of our players that really did a good job on their draft. So kudos to you guys, because you're making it competitive for us.
Right.
I mean, because we're good players, you know, but you could beat us. Or you could beat me. So
yeah, I haven't done anything really much in the last couple of years. Like,
you had good teams. You just
I had good teams. I just had a lot. Well, dude, hell, when I look at it last year, dude, after the draft last year, I saw that you, me, and I think it was T were like the main guys that were like, these are going to be the beefcake teams. And then you and T did awesome, and then I just did not. I did not.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with your quarterback.
There was that. There was a couple of boneheaded moves that I made throughout the year, trying to catch up to everybody else that just did not work. And then it basically, like, I'll admit it, part of it was me trying to do things differently than I normally did after the fact. Because I stuck to my normal draft strategy, and that went fine. But then when things kind of started going off the rails, I didn't adapt the way that I normally would.
Oh, okay.
You know, I tried making some really boneheaded trades. I tried making really bad waiver wire acquisitions, bad matchups. I had a lot of bad matchups on a lot of key guys last year, and that made it really difficult.
And that does. You're absolutely right. Matchups are a big thing. But do not go by the projections. The projections are just a guide. They're not, like, written in stone by any means.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that they are.
No. I mean, if you're putting a guy in just because it puts you on the projections to win, don't do it. If you think that other guy is going to be good, keep him in there, because the projections, it's nothing. It's, you know, it doesn't mean anything.
Well, hell, I mean, one of the key things I saw this week between two guys that I saw, one being Leonard. It was Leonard Fournette and the whole Elijah Mitchell thing. Leonard Fournette is projected to get 0.2 points more than Elijah Mitchell this week. And I have Elijah Mitchell starting above Fournette. I originally had Fournette sticking there in the flex, but I put Mitchell in there instead. And it's not because I don't think that Fournette's good. I figure Fournette's probably going to get about 10 to 12 points. I see Mitchell getting anywhere from 16 to 20 because they're facing a bad offense and he's going to be getting the rock the most. So, like, to me, that was, like, kind of a no-brainer. It's like, you know, you see that you might have a better matchup at one spot, man. Throw that other guy in there. Yeah, who cares if you're projected to lose by 5? if you feel those guys are going to be the ones that are going to get you there, go with it.
Oh, yeah, and always trust your gut. I didn't do that last week. I put Ezekiel Elliott in against the Bucs defense. I was thinking about putting Kareem Hunt in. Hunt would have gotten me 11 more points, basically. So, trust your gut, people.
Really,
it may not work, but at least it's your gut. And I got a big gut.
Same.
Woo! Anyway.
But yeah, getting back on topic here, we're on the wide
sorry.
receivers. No, don't even worry about it, man. Like, this is a good one today. So I got two more guys that are going to be surefire starts. One guy who basically won gold in his fucking matchup against me last week, Amari Cooper, going up against the Chargers. Dude, Amari's going to have a year. And that was the matchup that I was worried about the most going into week one. I was like, Amari's going to be the guy that screws me.
The one question I have about Amari Cooper, he has like maybe 2-3 games like this, and then the rest of the season he just sails. Is that going to be this year, or is he going to have that?
I found that he has his best production at the beginning of the season.
I think,
and that's why I say start him now, because that's where he's going to be going to. I think that Cooper's going to probably around week 5, week 6 is when he's going to start faltering off, and that's when CeeDee Lamb is going to start getting even more.
Use CeeDee Lamb.
I would say that CeeDee Lamb would be the better guy.
Although always start CeeDee Lamb. I'm not saying don't start.
Yeah, I wouldn't say don't start.
Oh God, no, that would be stupid.
And God, I would really hope you wouldn't have CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper both on your team. If you do, trade one of them.
Homer.
Quit being a Cowboys homer, okay?
And don't start Michael Gallup this week because he's on IR.
I think the only people who would even have Michael Gallup on their team would be teams that are like 12 owners and more. Probably the... But, gosh, you see, not even going to start going on Michael Gallup. Last guy I got, and this is a guy that this is going to bring up a topic of conversation. Mike Evans. Start him. He had a rough week 1. Okay? He was the only receiver of that Bucs group that did not do well. That is not going to be the case this week. I know everybody's sold on Antonio Brown. Everybody's sold on Gronk. Everybody's sold on freaking Chris Godwin and Scotty Miller and everything else. Like, yes, they are stacked. But
one game.
Evans is the number 1 receiver of that group. And an interesting fun fact. Out of the years that he has been in the league, the years that he does best, he has a terrible week 1. Ooh. He only had 4 catches, I think, total in week 1. Week 1 last year, he had 3 catches, didn't have a touchdown, minimal amount of yards. That very next week, he goes for over 100 yards, has at least a touchdown, and then starts off. So that's an interesting little thing, and I wish I would have known that before going into week 1, because I probably would have put Marvin Jones or Jarvis Landry in. Those would have been guys that could have gotten me to win there. But people who aren't sold on this guy, stop it.
Yeah,
people who think that he's not going to be a top 10 receiver again this year, stop it. He's still that number 1. Yes, Antonio and Godwin, Scotty Miller and Gronk, they're going to be getting tons of fucking touches. But Mike Evans is still that number 1 guy, and Brady loves throwing to him.
Oh, yeah.
So, he's going up against a really bad defense in Atlanta.
Ooh.
That defense that made Jalen Hurts look like an MVP candidate. What's going to happen when Brady walks in there?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, and also, they're at home, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at home. So they're in Tampa Bay. They're getting it. They're going to get it. Mike Evans is going to fucking get it. And the people who don't want to listen about, the people who are just not sold on Mike Evans and think that he's done with his career, it's like the guy has never not had 1,000-yard reception, a 1,000-yard receiving year. Okay? He's always been that number 1 guy. It ain't going to matter who the fuck they bring in. Until they move him out, he's going to be that number 1 guy.
Yeah.
So stop it. Moving into quarterbacks. This is
tough.
It's tough because I only got a few.
I mean, besides the main ones, like obviously Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, like this is pretty much a no-brainer. You're not going to hear me say, "Oh, start Patrick Mahomes this week." You should be starting Patrick Mahomes every goddamn week. Okay,
if you don't, you're an idiot.
Pretty much.
I know nothing about football if you don't start Patrick Mahomes.
I got 3 guys here, and honestly, these are the 3 guys that I saw in that MVP conversation we were talking about. Stafford against Indianapolis.
Ooh.
Stafford's going to continue to do well. They got a really good offense. He's going to go off. And yes, Indianapolis is going to give them a challenge, and they are walking into Lucas Oil Stadium. Yeah, Indianapolis has got a good defense, but
I think the offense is better than Indy's offense myself.
I think that Indy is going to do well. I think they're going to do their best to try to contain, but I don't think it's going to be anything substantial.
No.
Another guy, and this is a no-brainer here, guys, Josh Allen going into Miami. He is going to go off on these guys. He's going to go and have a big, big game because, he didn't have that great of a game against the Steelers. He's going to show, hey, I'm still an MVP candidate.
Oh, definitely.
It's going to happen. And my final sure start, Dak against the Chargers. Again, the Chargers have got a good defense. They got a good team. Yes, they're going in the SoFi. But I think that Dak is going to continue to show that he's on a really crazy comeback tour this year. And he's going to walk into SoFi and just go off on them. I think that's how that's going to go. The no start, the bench this week for quarterbacks is pretty clean cut, okay? Jalen Hurts going up against the 49ers. This just goes into the whole get off of Jalen Hurts' dick. He's not that good. And he's going up against the top 10 defense, dude. The Niners defense is no joke. Joey Bosa is going to put Hurts on his ass. Okay? It's going to happen. And I'm going to laugh. The
name Jalen Hurts is really going to fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah. Guess what? Jalen's hurt.
Or Jalen squirts.
Yeah. He's going to end up spewing out something out of his fucking neck after Bosa hits that fourth sack. Just... The other guy that I have is a no start, and this is extremely clean cut because he does terrible against them. Lamar Jackson against the Chiefs. I normally Lamar is one of those guys that I would say you got him, start him. But the Chiefs have always been... The Chiefs are kind of like that conundrum for a lot of these AFC guys, Josh Allen seems to do well against, but when you look at Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield, they both seem to struggle against Kansas City. Lamar Jackson only has a 52.6 completion percentage lifetime against Kansas City. Lifetime.
That's unreal.
That's not good. Okay?
Yeah, that's...
And the Chiefs don't even have that great of a defense either.
No, they don't.
And I think the big thing is this is one of those matchups that I think that no matter who your quarterback is, you have to take into account for fantasy this year, guys. If you got a quarterback that is facing the Chiefs, strongly consider benching those guys for that week.
Oh, yeah.
And the main reason why is I get it. There's a lot of great quarterbacks that have gone and done well against the Chiefs and everything like that. But here's the thing. With that Chiefs offense, it always puts that opposing team having to throw the ball and putting it on those guys' arms. And there's only two guys who have ever beaten Patrick Mahomes.
Tom Brady?
Tom Brady and Derek Carr.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. Okay, that is the metric there. Okay, Aaron Rodgers has not done it. Josh Allen has not done it. Baker, Dak, fucking Lamar. They haven't done it. Okay?
And I don't think throwing is really Lamar's main strength. It's his running.
You know what? I'm not going to lie, man. In that Raiders game, he kind of showed me, I've always known that Lamar has been a damn good. He can throw the ball. Like whenever everybody says, "Oh, he's the world's best running back," no, he's actually a really good quarterback, and he's got a fucking cannon. The big thing is that the offense is set up to use his legs,
right,
and short passes to extend the field. Whereas he doesn't throw the ball more than 20 yards that often because that's not how the playbook is set up for him.
Oh, okay.
So, like, whenever, like, well, hell, he hit frickin' Brown on that one frickin' throw. It was like 25 fucking yards. It was like, now you see, that's the Lamar that, like, because I remember when I saw him playing in Cincinnati. Or not Cincinnati, was it Louisville? Yeah, Louisville. When he was playing in college, he slung that ball all over the fucking field.
Oh, okay.
So, like, whenever, and he had the ability to run. Like, to me, I saw that Lamar had a lot of, like, what a Russell Wilson would do. Where, yeah, he can use his legs to extend the fucking field, and then he can just launch one. My biggest issue with Lamar has always been his receiving core.
Well, they've always been pretty weak.
Pretty mediocre at best. But, here's the thing. He's got Marquise Brown, and he's got Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
So, like, and he's got Mark Andrews. So, like, he's got a bit of a receiving core this year. Is it top notch? No, but it's better. It's better.
Yeah.
So, but still, avoid him this week.
Yeah.
He doesn't do good against the Chiefs. It just doesn't happen. I got 2 tight ends. Oh, I did have the Juwan Johnson for tight ends. New Orleans tight end. That's the guy who caught 2 passes off a freaking.
I had never heard of him.
He's a rookie.
Okay.
He's new. He's a new guy, and he's making some really great plays. So that's a guy that is probably. Last time I saw, he's still in a lot of leagues. He's not picked up. Nobody's really scooped on him yet. You're having tight end trouble. Might be a guy to take a look at. He might be a good fit. The other guy there would be Gronk. Now, I know Gronk had a huge week last week, got 2 touchdowns, all those freaking receptions. And I know that typically Gronk doesn't usually have back-to-back weeks of big-time play. But this Atlanta defense is bad. They're really bad against the tight end. And you know Brady's going to be looking for Gronk a lot. I think if Brady's going to be looking for Gronk, he's going to be looking for Evans a lot in this game. So I think that I don't think Gronk is going to have over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns again, but I could definitely see him maybe at least having a touchdown and having probably 50 to 60 yards. He'll have a double-digit game, I figure, because he's going to be a guy that they're going to look for a lot in the red zone.
Oh yeah.
Because Brady's always liked looking for Gronk in the red zone. That's Brady's safety net on that team is Gronk. It's always going to be. So, but those are the guys that I got for this week to go ahead and for the bench and start. Going ahead and just gonna dive into let's see, we got about a half an hour or so left here.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been really moving it well today. Cool. I'm really digging that. But we're gonna go into our topic of the day here to close it out, guys. And I know we were talking about it a bit at the beginning here. Week 1 tomfuckery. That's what I have it discussed at. Just how everybody gets so just stuck on week 1. Like, they did. I think the best way to describe it is I saw it on Good Morning Football yesterday. Fucking Kay Adams, man. I fucking love her. She's just like how they say that week 1 is a liar.
Oh, it is.
It is. It is the biggest liar of the NFL is week 1. Because one of the biggest things about it, this is something I wanted to talk about, the Bengals beating the fucking Minnesota Vikings. That is insane.
That is insane.
Like, going into overtime and beating them. Like, they literally are fooling everybody in the NFL because and I feel good for Cincinnati of getting a hard-fought win. Seeing Burrow get a hard-fought win.
I like
I hate the Vikings, and I love to see the Vikings lose, but I think that is a fluke win.
I agree.
Like, they They just got out there, they played a good football game, and they started the season off strong. Cool. But, like, a lot of people try to bring up these conversations of, like, oh, well, you know, these certain teams won week 1. Like, oh, Houston's the only AFC South team to win this week. They're the best of the South. No. Stop it.
Close.
Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Make one fucking stop it. Stop doing that. Like, it's not. It's a lie. Okay, it's false. The Bengals at best are going to win 6 games this year. Houston at best is going to win 8 games this year.
Maybe not even that.
Probably not even close to that. That's me being
optimistic.
Really
way optimistic.
Okay. Yeah, like fucking Disney princess, fucking sugar plums and gumdrops, fucking complete freaking optimistic, okay? Go ahead and break out my little... I'm not repeating it, okay? I'm going to break out my little tutu here and start doing a little, Bengals are going to win a bunch of games. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay? Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Okay?
8-9, 9-8.
The Bengals are not going to get no 8 or 9 wins this year.
Maybe 7, 6.
Yeah, okay. If the Steelers completely screw the pooch, fucking Lamar Jackson continues to fumble a million times this season, and somehow the Browns go into Cincinnati and just completely go total pants on head retarded, that's the only way that's going to happen.
Actually, you're right.
Like, I'm
probably
sorry, but they are
5 or 6 wins
at best.
Yeah,
at best. Like, I don't see them really winning against anybody in their own division. Like,
no, none of those teams. They're pretty good.
Steelers are a good team. Ravens are a good team. Browns are a good team.
Oh, yeah.
And all 3 of those guys are playoff contenders. One of them, the Browns, being a Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. The Browns are the only Super Bowl contender in that division right now. I could see the Steelers and the Ravens making the playoffs. The Bengals are so far off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're a better team.
Right, they're better than bad.
Yeah.
They're halfway bad now.
But, like, it goes into a whole, like, just talking about, fucking Houston beating the Jags. Like, Houston spanked the Jags.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like the Bengals game where they were going shot for shot with freaking Minnesota and happened to get that last drive, which was awesome. But... like, Houston, people are so high on Houston right now.
It's like,
and I still am not. It's like, no, dude, you guys are going to be mediocre at best. Yeah. Like, just stop it. Like, and the thing is even with the Jags, like, people think the Jags are going to be a playoff contender right now.
I don't know.
No.
Not for a couple of years.
I don't see. Yeah, like maybe next year.
Maybe.
Because the Jags do have a lot of...
They've got a lot of talent.
They do. They have a lot of talent. But...
potential talent.
Yeah, Urban Meyer he doesn't have me sold as a coach. Not at all.
No.
Urban Meyer is the biggest liability on that Jags team, in my opinion.
Because everybody expects them to be good just because Urban Meyer's there? Nah.
I've been seeing that speculation, that USC got rid of their head coach.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
So now there's speculation of who's going to go to USC. And I remember seeing Jonathan Franklin coach for Penn State, because there was talk of him potentially going over there. And he's like, no, I'm in the middle of my season here at Penn State. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not even going to entertain the idea. But then there's all these people that are just kind of slyly mentioning, hey, Urban Meyer might go to USC. He might just say fuck it on this whole NFL thing and go back to coaching college.
I don't see it.
I don't necessarily see it. It's an interesting topic.
He already said he wasn't going to.
I mean, yeah, well... I mean, Pete Carroll also said that he was going to stay as a college coach after his first day as a coach in the NFL.
That's true.
And then he came back.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
which sucks, because I don't like Pete Carroll.
Same. But, I don't I don't see or if Urban Meyer is going to leave being the coach of the Jags, it's not going to happen this year. It's going to happen in the offseason.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see
who would do it in the middle of a season? You got a contract. How do you get out of that? You know what I'm saying?
You see, I don't know what the details are to any of that. I don't know if he's got, like an opt-out clause. Yeah, I don't know if he's got an opt-out.
A golden parachute?
Yeah. I've got a golden ticket. I've got the chance to leave a bad team. I will say this, though, when it came to week one, like I said, we had our underrated killer in Derek Carr. I'll say this, though. This is we're on the topic of the Jags. Even though they got blown out by Houston there, I think that Trevor looked good. Yeah, he threw 3 picks. Welcome to the league, Rook. Right. He had to start trying to come back against the team. And, like, honestly, like, he was at about 50% completion percentage. Actually, I think he was just over. I think he was... I'd have to double check. But I think it was 28 for 51. He threw 50-some passes.
Holy cow.
Yeah, but he had, like, 300-some yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he had those 3 picks, but he had the 3 touchdowns. And a lot of those plays, he was showing command of that offense and, like, moving the ball well and, like, actually really trying to, like, do something. And it's like, okay, he's looking good. Zach Wilson also looked good. Zach Wilson only had the 1 pick. There was really only, like, 2 or 3 throws that I saw from Zach Wilson that were like, well, welcome to the league, Rook. You ain't going to be able to do that here. But otherwise, he looked solid. You know, Mac Jones still looked really solid. Trey Lance looked really fucking solid. Wait, who is this? Oh, boy, are we talking about football? I'm not sure who that is. But, yes, we are talking about football. We're actually closing things out here. Like, I look at these rookie quarterbacks, like, that's what, like, makes it so crazy about the whole Jalen Hurts thing. And, like, Jalen Hurts, like, he was only out there for a few plays, but those plays, he looked so good. Like, so good. And it's like, just throw him in there. Like, why, like, if Trevor Lawrence can get away with throwing 3 interceptions, like, wait, what? I refuse to watch it. Too woke. Okay, then bye. Like, I don't know what to tell you on that one there, homie. Really, the NFL is too woke?
What does that even mean?
They're basic. The woke is like they're being overly PC and stuff like that, politically correct.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it is. Okay, well... I'm sorry. Just stop it, dude. Just stop. I don't even know
I
who
watch
you
it for
are.
Football. I don't
yeah,
even give
like
a fuck
really.
About the politics.
I don't give a shit about what the politics stuff they're talking about on there. I'm watching. Oh my god!
What is this?
Supporting organizations that burn down cities, etc.
Oh,
okay, Grievik. I don't know who exactly you are, but get off the cross. We need the wood. Okay. Fuck out of here with that shit. Like,
I don't have time for any of this shit.
You know what's sad? Is that I see these guys who say, oh, the NFL's gone overly woke. But then right after, no, stop it. Okay, I guarantee you that for the 10 years after 9/11, no, I'm not going to say anything bad about 9/11, when they were doing those overly grandiose fucking flyovers and, you know, oh, we're America and we love it bullshit that they were going on that. I'm willing to guarantee that you were 100% with all that. Yeah. But now, because they're trying to do something a little bit different, you're on that bullshit. Now moving on to the topic that we were talking about.
We don't have time for this.
Bye. Okay? Don't got no time for that.
Take care. Enjoy. Bye. Okay, so anyways, let's get on with this here.
Oh my God, this guy's still going. I don't know who this guy is.
Whatever.
I'm going to switch that to maybe that. That's just insanity.
Yeah, that is insanity.
Wow.
Who cares? I just watch it for football. I don't really care about any of the other BS. It just doesn't matter to me. I just want to watch football, you know. If
It's just insanity.
Yeah,
dude.
I know. It's
like, leave it to somebody wanting to come onto this to go ahead and bring all that bullshit. Yeah, you're bringing the political bullshit into it, and like,
who cares?
I'll admit it, man. Like,
I'm not into politics.
I don't know who this guy is, but like, holy cow, man, you are just something else. Yikes.
Okay, so
yeah,
anyways,
back to that.
Yeah,
I'm going to just kind of close.
Yeah, let's just close that out.
I'm going to close that part of it out if I can here. Oh, my goodness.
No, I don't think
that
it's
is
gonna work,
insane. No, not
just
so much.
Not even look at it.
Yeah, that's insanity.
Okay, cool.
Like, thankfully, we only got like 20 minutes left on this. Wow.
Thanks for the memories of when you told us
your whatever rhetorical bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, just watch football for football. Don't put any political meaning into it.
Well, okay, like, they're going to anyway.
Well, they're going
like, that's
to,
the thing about
stupid.
it, is it's like, it's going to happen no matter what.
But it's stupid.
Like,
I mean,
going in, like, this whole drawing a line in the sand.
It's dumb.
Like,
it's really dumb. The whole thing on both ends is dumb. I just don't even... I don't have time for this bullshit.
Well, like, it's just whenever I see people trying to pull over one side or the other, because that's what this fucking douche canoe is fucking doing on here. I don't even know who it is.
I don't know.
But, like, he's literally just trying to push one side of it.
Right.
And
exactly.
I'm sure he's probably like, oh, it's all of them who are doing it. It's just like, dude, just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop.
I'm
like,
neither anything.
Like, you see the one side of it, but then you're not willing to see the other side of it. Like, chances are, like... Whenever I see people who are just trying to push their certain political bias, like, oh my God, look at the numbers of sports drastic decline. Shut the fuck up. You are so false. That is not even remotely true. Okay? What?
Okay, let's
like, oh God. Guys, about to ruin our fucking, trying to ruin our fucking podcast.
Let's not let him sabotage what we're...
I mean, we've
had a good episode.
Yeah, we've been having a great episode, and then this fucking guy.
It's just one person.
Well, leave it to one guy to try to fuck everything up with his bullshit.
Okay, let's get on with what we're doing.
We'll go back to week one here.
All right, week one.
Just week one shenanigans.
Week one bullshit.
It really is week one bullshit.
Week one.
Like, so basically back onto that topic of don't trust what Houston is doing. Don't trust what Cincinnati is doing.
Philadelphia,
that's another one. Philadelphia is not going to be that fucking good. They're just not. Like,
no.
Jalen Hurts, like, people are putting a lot of faith after week one into bad teams, and people are trying to... I feel like sometimes people try to bring up those questions.
Oh, yeah.
Of, oh, well, is this team going to be so much better because of this one game? And it's like, no, you guys are just reading way too much into it. Yeah. I think what it is that... Literally, that better team just wasn't nearly as prepared as they were originally, and how they should have been, and the other team just walked in and just lost. Like they walked out there and lost the game because they weren't prepared enough. Like when I see the Minnesota and Bengals game, that's what I see. It's like, okay, clearly Minnesota was not as prepared as they should have been.
Well, a lot of starters do not play in the preseason at all, or very limited amounts. So, that being said, sometimes it takes a little while to get...
You know, that brings up a really interesting topic that I saw, is that whether or not these guys should be playing their starters more in the preseason instead of, like, holding them back. You know, like, because... well, there's certain situations where I can totally understand it. Like with Dak not giving him a single sack in the snap of the preseason. That made sense to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Like, that made a lot of sense. It's like, okay, he's coming back off of a really gruesome injury. You don't want to You don't want to fuck with
you
that.
don't want to.
Like, hell, he was on a pitch count in practice because of that shoulder thing. So, like, you kind of had to keep an eye on that. Like, Christian McCaffrey, he didn't have hardly any work in the preseason. Saquon Barkley had no work in the preseason.
Right.
Like, that makes sense to me. But, like, it's like, well, and I guess Joe Burrow. Like, that.
See, what I didn't understand was Aaron Rodgers not playing in the preseason. I just didn't understand that.
I mean,
you know what you're going to get with Aaron Rodgers, obviously, but I mean,
he didn't get any reps. Like, well, also, I mean, he was holding everybody hostage with his fucking bullshit. So, like, you know, that was something I found that they always kind of did with Rodgers is that, like, they would give him such limited reps, and then they wouldn't, like, then they would kind of wonder, like, why is he so tight, like, getting close to the beginning of the season. It's like, well, you guys aren't giving these guys hardly any reps. Like, I get it. You don't want your number one guys to get hurt. But, like, then you're really not setting them up for success for those first couple of weeks. Like, I'll admit it, last year when he had the whole thing with COVID, they didn't get to have a preseason. Like, that was crazy.
That makes sense.
Last year was a complete clusterfuck when it came to that.
Yeah.
This year you've kind of had that. So, like, we're trying to get back to normal on things. Let that go.
The problem with it is you don't want your players to get hurt, you know, like Gus Edwards or any of the players that got hurt in the preseason during games.
Yeah, that whole Baltimore running back shit show. That's a great point to close things out on.
But
who saw that shit coming?
Oh, I didn't. No.
Who saw that coming? You lose 3 of your running backs due to season-ending injuries before the first regular season snap is had.
How does that even happen? I've never heard of that happening, ever.
Not to that extent.
Not to that extent.
Not when you lose 3 dudes. Like,
I mean, game situations, that's different. But not before the first snap of the first game. I mean.
Yeah, no. It just. See, when I saw J.K. Dobbins go down, that I was like, oh man, that's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, that is huge.
Like, that's big because he's a good player.
Oh, God.
Like, what are you going to do on that? And then
I was looking at him for fantasy.
What was his name? Our third string guy, the guy that tore his Achilles.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy. Like, and then when I saw him, like, oh, crap, this is going to all fall on one dude, Gus Edwards. And then when he goes down, it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
like,
shit just suddenly got real.
Now what? Like, you know what? Same. I was entirely shocked when I saw JK go down because I did not see that happen. And we got a guy popped in on there. It looks like the other dipshit left. Which I see the stuff he's saying on there. And no, you can't. Bye. Anyway.
Play anti-parasite medication.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Go ahead and boof some fucking horse tranquilizer and leave us alone. See ya.
Yes, please.
But yeah, when JK goes down, it's like that. Like seeing all of that transpire within that couple of weeks was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in football. Because it's like, yeah, there's always going to be a lot of people going down, but never to that degree.
Oh, no.
Like,
no.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you lose your entire running back core. You now have to basically take a dude who has almost never taken a regular season snap and then sign a bunch of guys who have been sitting on their couches for the entire fucking preseason. That's who you got to freaking go through your season with now.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
That's crazy, dude. Like, no. Like, that is absolutely insane.
And how do you game plan for that? You can't. There's no way because,
Well, no, like, you say you're a head coach and let's say you got your 4 running backs there and you figure, okay, any one of these guys goes down.
I have place to play.
Yeah, we got other guys. Like,
right.
So you could just kind of like, I mean, when they're going back with the Dobbins thing, like, I'm not seeing who is this, your boy Daza. Yeah. So, all right, your boy. Like, I'll admit it, that injury with JK was fucking awful.
Oh, it was
absolute fuckingly atrocious. Like, and it was really bad. So, like, seeing that and then seeing what all happens to these other guys, like, I know they didn't show anything. I know when Gus Edwards first went down, they didn't want to show anything. They didn't want to say anything. They didn't want to do nothing.
Oh,
They're
no.
like, we don't know how bad it is. Let's just try to see what we can do with this. And then when they had to let it out, it's like, great, now what? Like, the Ravens are probably going to be screwed now.
Oh,
simply
completely.
because of the fact that they don't have a running back core.
Oh, right.
You know? Like, what are you going to do? Just run fucking Wildcat and have Lamar run it every single play? That isn't going to win you many games.
No.
So, yeah, they got to figure that shit out.
Yeah,
They got to. They got to.
That's a tough dilemma to be in.
Well, I mean...
Because basically your whole season, you're pre-planning your plays, and now you've got to design plays for people that they don't even know exactly what their strengths are.
Right. That's exactly it. It's like, and the thing is now you have to limit your playbook on a lot of that stuff simply because of the fact that you don't know how that personnel is going to be able to handle the full playbook.
Right. Exactly.
Harbaugh is now literally handcuffed.
And Murray is a good running back. I'm not saying that, but and what, Williams?
Yeah, Williams was that other
Williams?
guy. Yeah, Williams, yeah. Yeah, I forgot they had freaking Latavius Murray. And, yeah, like, those guys will probably do all right for them. But they're not going to get...
Yeah, they're not the next level kind of players, I don't think.
Well, I think at this point, they're probably not looking at having that next level guy. Okay, do you remember seeing after Gus Edwards went down, they were talking about possibly trading for Saquon?
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that. I didn't see that they were doing a whole... I didn't see anything new on it. Like, it was one of those things that, like, as quickly as it went up, it went back down again. So, like, I'm pretty sure that New York was kind of, like, probably looked at whatever Baltimore was offering and was like,
nah,
we're good. Sorry, homie.
What's really crazy about that is Marcus Peters went down on either the same player or the play before that in practice. Similar injuries, which is really insane.
Yeah.
That's even more insane, I think, than the fact that three running backs go down. Is the fact that two players in practice on subsequent plays.
Yeah, it was back-to-back plays.
Yeah, it was back-to-back plays.
Because Gus Edwards went down, and then
Peters.
Peters went down. Like, literally the very next play.
And two of the players that are going to be some of the best on your team. That's huge. Oh my God.
Right. Like, get out of here.
That's like, you couldn't dream that up. There's no way that would,
Yeah, no, I agree. It's
in the cosmos now. Ravens jinx, man.
Yeah, I think that, what's kind of crazy is I hate to say it because I think the Bengals are going to be the worst team in their division.
Yeah.
But the Ravens are probably going to be competing for that bottom spot because you're losing all your best players. Like, what are you going to do now? Like, you guys...
I have a question for you. Who is Pittsburgh's backup running back? I don't know who he even is.
That's a fucking excellent question, and you know what? I'm going to look that up right now.
I can't even think of one. I mean, I'm sure they have one. If they don't, they're kind of stupid.
Well, no, they do. It's just whether or not I don't know who exactly. Isn't it Benny Snell? They still got Benny Snell?
I think they do. Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean.
See, that Steelers running back room is another one that's like complete. It's an enigma to me. It's an enigma to me because like. They have Najee Harris, and I expect he's going to be ready.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't see a whole heck of a lot of depth in that room. Them letting James Conner go, I mean, I get it.
I get it, too.
But at the same time, did they really need to? Like, if you're
going to do that, get somebody else in there. I mean, because Snell, I don't think, is like a number two back. maybe a number 3 back.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't see it with him. Like, obviously, Najee is going to be your number 1. I think. I mean, Najee needs to show me something. Because, like, that first game, I get it. You're going against the Bills. He had a couple of good plays, but, like, you need to start showing us more than that, homie. Like, you really need to start showing us more. Because that is going to... I don't know. I feel like that Steelers offense is going to be very up and down this year. And they're going to need somebody to be that old reliable. And unfortunately for a lot of those offenses, it's got to be that running back.
It has to.
They gotta get
definitely isn't going to be Juju Schuster.
No, it is not going to be Juju, not by any means.
Maybe Johnson.
Johnson and Claypool, I think, are those two guys that are going to be the new number 1, number 2 for that Steelers offense.
Johnson's been consistent, and Claypool had a great year last year.
Claypool makes a lot of really big plays, dude. Like,
and that guy
lot
can
of
jump
big
up
plays.
there in the end zone. Damn.
Yeah, like, the guy is damn good.
Yep.
You see, I still see that.
Don't worry about it.
I know. It just throws me the fuck off. I think we're going to make a new rule. And
no politics. We don't
No, it ain't going to be that. It's going to be, once I get the live thing going, I'm going to shut down not shut down, but I'm going to completely, like, have it to where we don't see that. So that way, if we got another guy that wants to come in and stir our pot intentionally, because guess what? I don't know if you're still watching, homie, but I know that's what you were doing. That's why I went after you, because I can see that you're intentionally stirring the pot.
Personally, I don't think there should be politics in sports.
Well, there's a lot of things that politics shouldn't be in that they are in, and like I think that just going on to other people's stuff just to go ahead and have a hissy fit about it, just to stir the pot for the sake of it, because he did piss me off and he got me on the thing. But I'm not going to let somebody come into our podcast
I'm not
and try to fucking bully us on some bullshit, especially when he says he knows what he's talking about and he can verify it. Guess what? No, you fucking can't. So, on that note, in summation to this week, I know. Thank you for everybody who came out this week. Closing things out. So, to let you guys know on some growth type stuff here for us. Obviously, hit us up on The Leap on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. We are now also on, most of the major podcast outlets. Man. We are officially on Spotify. We are on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and a couple of others. If you're on Anchor, and then the other ones, I can't remember what the names of them are. I'm really sorry for that.
I don't know anything about any of this stuff.
We're on the main ones. So if you got Spotify and iTunes, please give us a listen to and give us a check out on there. Every single follow, share. It helps us out. It helps us go and do more. It's going to help us be able to actually start
and it can help us do more for you as far as giving you information and just giving you mass hilarity.
Right, because the more likes and the more follows you guys give us, that gives us the opportunity to expand our brand and be able to put out better content for everybody.
And tell your friends.
Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandma.
Yeah, although I don't know if your mom would want to really... because
your mom would probably be like, "Who the hell are you guys listening to?"
Exactly.
But
yes.
Tell everybody.
Tell everybody you know.
Tell everybody that you think that would enjoy.
We'll have a big old party.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do a party. Well, I don't know. That's not a party, but
no, I didn't mean it like that. But
we're gonna be doing some beer.
It'll be like a virtual party.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing some beer bongs and some cocaine and having some hookers here in the background.
I'm not doing some keg stands anymore. These knees can't handle it anymore.
No, I definitely can't. I wouldn't think I'd want to do a keg stand.
I did at one time. Back in the day.
I did a few times back in the day.
Back when I could drink.
You see, back when I liked to drink, I
don't like drinking.
Not so much anymore.
But if you're going to drink in moderation, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pace yourselves.
Don't get lit.
Yeah.
Unless you want to.
Take hydration breaks every once in a while.
Yes, exactly.
High quality
Stretch.
H2O. And we're not talking about that toe curling type of stretching either.
Whoa!
But yeah, on that note, guys, thank you guys for everybody who hit us up
thanks.
this week. As I said, be sure to throw those likes and stuff out there.
Yep. And have fun, people. We'll see you next week.
Yep. See you guys next week.
He's Steve Lucas.